This is a walkthrough of how Blimey works. Today we will create some beautiful sheep. After having downloaded and installed Blimey, you start by signing up. We get a little How Blimey Works page, but I will show you instead. Let's start by creating a new scene. The left-hand side panel allows us to drag pre-made 3D models into the scene. We can find models by looking at the categories, and we drag and drop them into the scene. Or we can search. The same, we drag it and we drop it in the scene. Click on whatever you want to select. Now we have the sheep selected. Then we can select the move tool and drag the arrows to move the sheep in different directions. We can select the rotate tool to rotate it, and of course the scale tool to scale it. Drag in the middle for uniform scaling. Here we can also modify the color of the object, and certain objects can be animated as well. So let's make the sheep a running sheep. But how do we navigate the scene? There are 4 important actions to remember. If you press F when an object is selected, you will focus on that object. If you're holding down the Option or Alt key and drag the mouse, you'll pivot around the selected object. If you want to pivot around another object, select it and press F. Now this object will be in focus, and you can hold down the Option key and pivot. Holding down Control and dragging will allow you to pan, and then you can scroll the mouse wheel to zoom. Up until now, all movement we've made has also moved the scene camera. The camera is what we see on this right view panel. But we can disconnect ourselves from the camera by pressing this button. Now we can move around the scene freely and modify the scene without affecting the camera. As you can see, the right view panel is not changing. We can also see the camera from the outside. We can select it, and we can move it around like any other object. Now, what else can we modify? We can change the sun. We can change the background. Here we can also undo our last action in the scene and duplicate objects. And if we don't like it, we can delete it. Now for the image generation part. Let's first set up our sheep in a better position. Let's throw in some grass as well. Also, if we want to go back to the connected camera, we can move the camera around. We click Connect Camera. This viewport is important because this is what will control our generated images. We can have different modes of control. We can use the color, the depth, or the pose. And we can select and deselect any of these. And then we can control how much influence they should have. We generally want depth and pose to be around 0.5 here in the middle somewhere, and we generally want the color to be a bit lower, so maybe down here. Just to show an example of what pose is, so the sheep isn't a humanoid character, so it cannot have a pose, but we can just drag in a person here into the scene, and there we can see what information will be shown to the AI model. Let's remove that for now. Now for the prompt. Even though we can see what's in the image, the AI can't. So we have to describe what we want the AI to generate. We will have to describe the generated images as simple and as descriptive as possible. In this case, we'll just go with it. Sheep on a field. Then we can select what style we want. We can have different photographic styles or art styles. Let's go with the cinematic photo. And we click here to generate images. And now image generation has started. This image here and the prompt has been sent to our servers, where they are spinning up the AI model to generate the final images. This takes approximately 10 seconds per image, with an additional 15 seconds startup time, so these 4 images should take around a minute to generate. Alright, here we have some photorealistic sheep that respect the input color image here, but is now in a photographic style. Let's see what happens if we make it in the style of DALL-E. Ah, there we go. Interesting DALL-E with some tiny sheep. Also, let's try out the depth model. Maybe photography during golden hour. Here we have some lovely sheep during golden hour. And now you know how to use Blimey. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment or just send me an email.